Hi everyone, my name is Sarah and this is episode 32 of Sarah's Creative Corner, just my little corner of the internet where I chat about all the crafty, creative things that I've been up to over the past couple of weeks. And I'm coming to you just a little bit over 2 weeks since the last time I filmed, and I think I'll probably stick to this schedule for the foreseeable future. I found that I was able to get enough done. Like I felt productive, but it didn't feel like it was too much time, but also not like I only got a few rows on all my projects. Not that I need to, but kind of just like something to talk about. So I think we'll probably just stick to this every other week schedule for now. And coming to you with a pretty average video. I got a finished object. I got some works in progress. I got some acquisitions, and I also have a new craft that I've been dipping my toes into the past couple of days. So we can talk about all of those things today. All of the things that I'll be talking about will be linked down below, my Instagram and my Ravelry, as well as the project pages and the like stores and dyers and everyone that I mention will be down in the description. So we can go ahead and chat about the first thing, which is the finished object. And I will say it's not 100% finished, but it's off the needles, it's blocked, but it's just not seamed. So that's okay. But that is my night and day cowl. Here it is in all of her glory. I'm very happy with it. This is the third time I've attempted it, and so yeah, third time is the charm, unfortunately, but very happy with how it has turned out. I knit this is the 9-day cowl by Andrea Mowry. I knit it in yarn from Ruby and Roses, her Rustic Rose DK. I'm not sure if this is a base that she always has. I don't follow her updates too much. I see them, but I don't order from her too frequently. But she had this around Rhinebeck last year. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else, like background information wise. Yeah, I knit the adult large size. I think it came out probably just a touch smaller than that, which is totally okay with me. That means it'll just be a little bit more snug when it's worn, that's fine. And trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, no modifications that I made on this, and I knit the cowl on US size 6, but I used my Indian Lake Artisan needles instead of my Chow Goo, and I think that probably helped with my gauge. And yeah, so the colorways that I knit it in, the gray is Typewriter and the pink is Anemone. So yeah, very happy with it. I will probably seam it over the next couple of weeks or so, or I might just wait until it gets cooler to seam it, but we'll see. I am very happy with it. I think it was a pretty engaging knit, but also mindless, if that makes sense. Like the pattern wasn't too difficult to follow or anything like that. So yeah, very happy to like finally be happy with the product. And yeah, I'm trying to think. I think that's really it about it. No modifications. I did use a cordsmith to do the I-cord bind off with, and I will say that was kind of difficult with this yarn in particular. I did an I-cord bind off with Feederbrook Farms, so they're both non-superwash yarns, but this one might be just a little bit more sticky than the Feederbrook Farms, which might have made it a little bit more difficult. I found that when I was doing the I-cord, it was making the stitches really really tight, so I had to like adjust every time that I was doing the I-cord, so it wasn't as just like smooth of a bind off experience. But other than that, overall very good. I like the yarn. I like the stitch definition that it has. And yeah, there's no color bleeding either when I blocked it. So yeah, it blocked it really nice, and I'm very happy with this product. All right, so that's the only thing that I finished over the past couple of weeks. And I have 3 works in progress, and then 1, well, I guess 4, but 1 that isn't knitting. And I guess we can go ahead and get into those. We'll talk about the 2 that you have seen, and then I'll show you the new one and the new craft. So the first one is my Selma sleep suit. I was here last time you saw it, which I think either I was done with the hood or just a couple rows away from being done with the hood. And I finished all the raglan increases and have started working on the body. And I'm almost done with the body. I probably have, I think I'm supposed to knit to about 13.5 inches. And I think I have about 4 inches left before I start the legs, and I should be able to get that done in the next couple of weeks because I was able to do, you know, all of this over the past couple of weeks. And yeah, this has been like my main knitting just because it's been pretty simple and pretty mindless. I have done a couple modifications to this. I have done a slip stitch edge for the last stitch. So I just slip with the yarn in the back instead of yarn in the front. And then I am also not doing buttonholes as I go because 1, I think I might lengthen the body just a touch. And then I also want to use magnetic snaps that I'm going to sew on to, like, I guess the lapel. And that should make it a little bit easier to put on and take off of baby. Trying to think if there's any other modifications I've done. I don't think so. I'm knitting the 3 to 6 month size, and I'm knitting it on a US size 7 instead of US size 6, which I think is what it's called, what it calls for. And I'm using Lion Brand Wool Ease in Blush Heather, Blossom Heather, something like that. And pretty happy with it. I might have to get an extra skein. I only had 3 because I got this yarn for a different baby project for like someone else, but I just didn't end up knitting it for them. So I think I might just need to get another skein, which is totally fine. They sell this at Joann's. They also have it online. So, well, not at Joann's, at Michael's. Joann's is no longer around. But they have this at Michael's and online, so it won't be too hard to get a hold of it. But yeah, I think it'll be pretty cozy, and I think it'll be good since it is mostly acrylic, and some will definitely be baby proof for any accidents that might happen. And yeah, I think that's really it. Since I'll be starting the legs and the arms, I believe, are knit flat. And I was contemplating knitting them in the round, but just to make it a little bit easier and not have to seam them. But now that I'm thinking about it, I think I might end up knitting them flat and get a little bit more experience with seaming. I have done seaming for 2 cowls, my shift, and that one went pretty well, and my cityscape cowl by Tori Yu, and that one went okay. But I think that might just have been because of the bind off was looser than the cast on edge. One of the edges was looser than the other, so it was like kind of wonky to kind of get them together. And that was also before I had my cordsmith. So I might actually end up redoing that bind off and the seaming, but that's a whole other thing. So yeah, I think I might end up just doing it flat. It might go by faster too. And there's also supposed to be like flaps for the feet and the hands, and it might be easier to do it flat, I think. So we'll see. We'll figure it out. But yeah, that is this one. It's been pretty mindless knit because it's just garter stitch, and it's very squishy. And I also like the yarn. It's not too bad to knit with. It seems like acrylic yarn has definitely come a long way since I first started knitting when I was in middle school. And it's not as squeaky as I remember it being, but this also because it has, you know, some wool content that might be helping with the squeaky feeling that I remember from many, many moons ago. But yeah, that is the Selma sleep suit. And the other work in progress that you have seen, not a lot worked on for this one, but that is okay. That is my Yoon sweater by November Knits, or Anne Sunde, I think. Her first name's Anne, and she is November Knits on like Instagram and Ravelry. But you can see that I was literally just had a couple rows done for the last podcast. But since then, I have finished the collar and have folded it, and have like actually folded the entire collar. I just am, you know, in that transition period where you have to change the needles from the ribbing and all that sort of stuff. So just taking a little bit of a pause right now on that. And yeah, other than that, I have been enjoying this. I am holding 3 strands together, but 2 of the same yarn. Okay. I am holding 2 strands of Nutiden and then 1 strand of Odang DK by Farmer's Daughters Fibers. And the Nutiden is called Tålmodig, and the Surrey is called Pretty Shield. So it is making this, and I know last time I was kind of iffy about it, but I think I like it. I think it's different. It's definitely bringing out more of the red tones in the unspun, in the Nutiden. So yeah, it'll be different. And I'm knitting size 4 and using the recommended needles, so US 7 and 8. And yeah, I've been enjoying it so far. The holding of an extra strand, like a Surrey or a mohair or whatever it may be, definitely seems to be making it a little bit easier to knit, and I am able to tension my yarn how I normally would tension my yarn. So that's kind of where it is at for now, and I think that for any future like Nutiden projects, I'll probably try to find some other strand to hold it with to make it easier, because I did a test knit with the same exact yarn, the Tålmodig, and I don't think it went very well. My gauge seemed to have changed, and I think that's also because I was holding just the Nutiden, and it was the first time I was knitting with it, and I was really worried that it was going to break all the time. So I think I was just extra loose with my knitting. So from an unexperienced unspun knitter to another person, maybe getting another strand to hold with your unspun would be beneficial. So yeah, we'll see how far I get on this in the next couple of weeks. It's not like a major project. This will probably be like an indoor, on the couch, with like a bowl, a very stationary project, just because of the Nutiden, and also being in the air conditioning to make sure that I don't break the Nutiden with any sweaty hands or anything like that. So that is that work in progress. The last one that's knitting is nothing too crazy. It is just a sock. I have this sock that I cast on a couple weeks ago, or maybe it's just 1 week ago. I cast this on over Memorial Day weekend, last weekend, and it is from a Homespun house, one of the Patreon colorways. I can't remember if I received this from the Patreon or if I got this from D-Stash. But either way, it is from July 2024 and it's called Meet Cute. And I'm pretty happy with it. I really like how the colors are knitting up, and I really love the mini colorway. I don't know what it's called, but I really like it. It's kind of like coral pink. And yeah, knitting this for myself. So I have 60 stitches and I'm knitting it on 9-inch circulars, my new ones from Brick House Fiber Arts that I got at Maryland Sheep and Wool, and I actually really like them. The join, I'm still getting used to the join. It seems like it can be a little bit difficult to get the stitches over, but that might just be because I have 60 stitches instead of 64. And maybe that's making a difference for the ease. So maybe I'll try to knit a pair of socks for my husband with these, or like a pair of color work or something that has a little bit more stitches. But otherwise I do really like them. They're really sharp. And I also find that because they like rotate, it seems to make the knitting go by a little bit easier. So yeah, I am kind of paused right now to decide how long I want the socks. Because it is a smaller sock set in that it's 50 grams and 20 grams, I've never knit a pair with like that kind of mini and like main color combination. But I do have, you know, the Langya wool. So what I think I might do is do a contrast heel, toe, and cuff. I'll do the cuff and the toe in the mini, which I know worked for my husband, and do the heel in this like white bear yarn. And this will just be my test, and then we'll see for future socks what it'll look like. But yeah, I think it'll be kind of nice to have a white heel. It'll be cute. Trying to think if there's anything else to say. I did 2x2 ribbing, 20 rounds. So far I'm at 50. Just trying to decide if I want to go longer or just like start the heel now. But yeah, very happy with it. I didn't really work on this one a lot, but over the past week, but when I did work on it, it was for a longer period of time, if that makes sense. So yeah, very happy with it. And maybe we'll have a heel that's done in the next video. All right. And then the last work in progress is my new little craft that I've been doing. And that is some cross stitching. I picked up a couple kits over at Joann's before they closed. And I got a kit for some baby bibs and then also a kit for like a crib quilt thing that you just embroider over the ink. And so far it's been really fun. I really enjoy it, and it feels like it's kind of going by fast, I think. I don't know. It feels like it's going by fast. I mean, I'm already done with the grass. I'm mostly done with the legs. I'm just working away on the little duck. So yeah, pretty happy with it. And yeah, I think it's nice to almost have like stopping places in a sense where you have your threads, you work on that thread, or at least that's how I do it. I work on the thread until it's done, and then I do the next thread. So you're kind of have like these checkpoints. But yeah, pretty happy with it. I have already started looking at some patterns on Etsy that I could do potentially for baby or just like in general. There seem to be some like cute modern ones that I might get off of there. And yeah, nothing too crazy to say. It's definitely different, at least in this context. I have another cross stitch that I have not finished. But that one you use 2 strands, I think, for your thread, but this one you're using 3. And you can see the difference. So at first I did 2, and that's these ones. And these ones are 3 strands. And I'm definitely going to be undoing the 2 strand ones because it doesn't look right. But yeah, this is also my first time cross stitching on like printed fabric. It's definitely different. It's kind of hard to see sometimes, and there's some, not errors, but like the printing is wonky because it was printed onto fabric. So it'll be interesting to go back and do it on the Ida, I think that's the name of the fabric, where it's, you know, intentionally made for cross stitching. So yeah, very happy with it, and it'll probably just be something I work on here and there. Maybe I'll be done with this in 2 weeks. Maybe I'll be halfway done, who knows. But yeah, that is this guy, and that's all the things I've been working on over the past couple of weeks. So I do have some acquisitions. I have some yarn, some bags that I had before, but I just didn't have them like with me for recording, and I think that's really it. So we can go ahead and get into the acquisitions. The first one is my homespun house from my Patreon from April. I got these guys, and it is called Cherry Blossom. Pretty fitting for April, and I really like it. These will probably be for me, or maybe I can try to figure out something for baby. That'd be pretty cute. It is 70 grams of superwash, so, and it's fingering weight, so I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that is this one. And then the minis are Sunroof, One of a Kind, and Jello. So those are these ones that I got. And I've been trying to think about what I'm going to be doing with all my minis. I have not touched any of the minis that I've gotten. But I recently had the idea of maybe doing like a sweet shop blanket. I'd have to see how much of the like different color you need. Like if you need a 10-gram mini or a 20-gram mini, because I know it's held double. So that could be something I could do, or I could do the Stella quilt, either a blanket or the pillow. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. But there's also the Bits and Bobs blanket by, I can't remember who, one of my friends is knitting that. And yeah, so just trying to kind of think about what to do with all these minis, because I don't use minis a lot. So yeah. But yeah, just trying to plan with what's in my stash. So that's what I've got from a homespun house. Next one is from Big Little Fiber Co. She had a bento box collection update, and I got mine. And that's this guy. It's fruit sando and strawberry jam. So the main one is fruto sando, which is like a fruit sandwich, and then strawberry jam is the mini. And I got her trusty sock set. I don't think I've ever gotten one of her sock sets, so this would be fun to play around with. And I got I can't remember what she called it, but it was just like a sock set. It also came with a little stitch marker, a little bent onigiri stitch marker. It has yarn in the middle, and then it also came with a mug, and then like a bento box like fabric wrap. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but yeah, that's what I got. And the cup that I got is blue, and the wrap that I got was yellow and purple. So yeah, that's, oh, not the last acquisition. The last one is some bags that I got, and you kind of saw a sneak peek of one of them. This is the first one. They're from Petite Knits over in Australia. Ashley from Smash Knits has these bags, and every time I saw them, I was just very adoring of them. They're just so cute. So I got this one, which I think is called Sydney, maybe. I can't remember the name of the pattern of the fabric. And then this one is Hidden Platypus. I have a platypus butt here. And then another platypus butt, little head. So I got these 2 bags. And I also got the pattern for it. So I can make a couple of my own, maybe more than a couple. So that is those 2. And I guess a tiny acquisition is I got this needle minder yesterday for my cross stitching. I was going to get one on Etsy. I still might, but this one filled a niche that I had in the moment. And I was able to find one at a local shop. So that was fun. Trying to look around to see if there's anything else. There's nothing else. I do have a couple other acquisitions, but they weren't super exciting. I got some Sandisgarn baby wool, which is like their baby wool, and it's just in white. And I was gonna knit a christening dress for the baby in that. So when I start that, I'll probably go ahead and show you the yarn, but it's just a white baby safe yarn. And yeah, that is really it. That's all the things from the past couple of weeks, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks. And between now and then, I hope you guys have a good week, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.